Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Very soon I am going to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival for the very first time and I am so excited, bit nervous, bit scared, bit anxious, but mostly very excited. And I thought I would share with you a little list of shows that I'm either definitely going to be seeing and think sound amazing, slash have seen bits of, slash have seen already and would recommend you seeing. I think I already said that, but oh well. I will recommend them, or shows that I sadly won't be able to see because they are on in Edinburgh after I am there, but shows that I think sound really interesting and that you should check out if you're in Edinburgh at the end of the Fringe. What I'm going to try and do, if possible, is insert either some footage from the shows or if they have any like music out. Most of them are musicals because come on, I am a musicals person, let's be real. So yeah, I'll try and give you as much of a glimpse at the show as I possibly can. I've contacted some of the shows to see if they've got any kind of footage to send over. So hopefully you'll be able to get a little taste of the shows that I'm talking about. If you follow me on social media, the first show is probably a very obvious one, but a show that I am so excited to see again is Six the Musical. I feel like this is so me because most of the time I'm talking about Six, to be honest. I am a fan. So I saw Six at the Arts Theatre back in January. They were doing a couple of like one-off performances to sort of test the waters. Now they're coming back to the Fringe. They were at the Fringe Festival last year. They've just done a couple of runs in Norwich and Cambridge. So yeah, they're doing the Fringe and then they're coming back to London for a month, which I'm so excited about. And then they're adding on more dates around the UK, which is really, really exciting. So Six is about the wives of Henry VIII, hence Six, and it's their stories. It's more than just the rhyme that we know of divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. It's behind the rhyme. Ooh, behind the rhyme. And I love it. I loved it when I saw it in January. I thought it was so much fun. And the new cast performed at West End Live, which was so exciting. I was so happy for them. It was just amazing to see the crowd kind of reacting positively to them. That was amazing. And yeah, I'm just gonna play you a couple of bits of Six to whet your appetite. But I think it's such a fun show to see. It's a one actor, I think it's like 75 minutes, so it's just a really, really fun show.
Listen up, let me tell you a story. A story that you think you've heard before. We know you know our names and our fame and our faces.
Know all about the glories and the disgraces.
Welcome to the show, to the history mix. Switching up the flow as we add the prefix. Everybody knows that we used to be six.
The next show on my list is called Paper Dolls and it's actually written and performed by my best friend Sean, so I think he'd be very mad at me if I didn't see it. It's also one of the main reasons why I'm definitely going to Edinburgh this year. As I say, it's my first time. So I was thinking, obviously I have to go see Sean do his play. I have to support him. So yeah, thanks Sean, really, you're the reason I'm going to Edinburgh this year. So I'm gonna read you what he's put in the Fringe brochure because I don't want to mess it up, to be honest. So he's put as the description: Billy works in a department store and today they're testing their first unisex changing room on the public and he's in charge. Dun dun dun. An unforgettable new one-man comedy featuring countless hilarious characters. What could possibly go wrong? I am so excited for him and I can't wait to see him. I'm probably gonna cry, I'll probably get really emotional. But I can't wait. So if you're going to the Fringe in, what dates is he doing it? The 4th to the 11th. If you're there, please go support Sean. He is gonna be on at the Paradise in the Vault. And he's got the 11 AM slot. So start your day off with Sean. That sounds like a new podcast for him. The next show on my list is one that came up on Twitter, I believe, which is great. I'm so glad that loads of people are really happy to send out recommendations on Twitter, because the couple of tweets that I've put out have like had loads of people responding to them, which is fantastic. So yeah, this is one that I spotted on Twitter, and it's a show called And Peggy. So ... and Peggy. If you're a fan of Hamilton, you might recognise that reference. So it's about Peggy Schuyler. And yeah, when I saw this, I first saw the artwork and I thought that looks really cool. I really like the look of that artwork. That's something that really draws me into shows, if I see it and I'm like, ooh, I'm hooked, like tell me more. So that definitely worked on me. But yeah, I'll read their description for you, so again, I don't get anything wrong. Napier University Drama Society returns to the stage with their musical spin-off of Hamilton. Whether you've never heard of Hamilton or learnt the whole soundtrack, do not throw away your shot to see this musical. I love it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that one, because obviously we don't get to see much of Peggy in Hamilton, so I'm hopefully going to learn a lot about her. The next show on my list is actually one that performed at the Pleasance Theatre, which is really local to me, so stupidly I should have just seen it then. I knew about it when it was happening, but I think because it was just on for a week and it was like not working for me time-wise, I didn't get to see it, unfortunately. But the description of it sounds brilliant. So for this, it says, critically acclaimed musical returns. So I think it was at the Fringe last year as well. When Rose and Harry meet, they uncover something extraordinary. They're both serial killers. I've become really obsessed with a podcast called True Crime Obsessed at the moment as well. This is a massive side note, but if you know of Gillian from the Hamilcast, Patrick Hines from Theatre People and Broadway Backstory, it's their podcast. It's hilarious. Like, true crime sounds hilarious. Yeah, so they are both serial killers. This darkly comedic, folk-inspired musical demonstrates how love is unique to everyone and illuminates the darkness in us all. I think that sounds really fascinating, and I believe they've actually put out a cast recording, or a cast recording of sorts, and I think it's on iTunes and Spotify, so I'll be linking that down below as well. So if you want to check that out before maybe seeing it, I won't be, because I will just see it, but you can do. So yeah, I think that one sounds really interesting. And also folk inspired. I'm intrigued by that as well, because I feel like there's not really that many folk inspired musicals out there. So I'm excited. The next show on my list is actually one that I saw a preview of at the Other Palace the other night. I think this is really fantastic that the Other Palace and other venues are getting involved with this. They probably always have been, and I've just only noticed it this year. But to be able to get the chance to see some of the shows before they head up to Edinburgh, I think is fantastic. So this is a show called 89 Nights. And when I saw the artwork, you sense a theme here. When I saw the artwork in the programme, I thought that looks beautiful, I'm intrigued. And then I read the description and I was intrigued even further. So yeah, I went to see the preview of it the other day and I really enjoyed it. And I will actually go and see it at the Fringe as well anyway, because I'm intrigued to see how it'll look fully staged and with more orchestrations and costumes and such. I'm really intrigued to see it again. So the description for 89 Nights is an emotional commentary about growing up and living each day in the moment. Alice arrives in New York City full of naive hope and imagination, wondering what adventures her visa-limited time will bring. She has 89 nights. So I loved that. I loved the capturing of 89 nights, the name, the idea. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to see what they add to it at the Fringe.
Avenue, something big happens. Columbus Circle,
on to the shows that I sadly won't be able to see in Edinburgh, but hopefully I'll be able to see them at some point in their lifetime. So the first one on this section of the list is called The Drowned Bride, very dramatic. And the description is a new musical by Helen Brown and John Moore based on Daphne du Maurier's Rebecca, which I have heard of before. I think there's another musical about it, I'm not sure. And it says it's from the Fringe first award-winning team that brought you Great Expectations, Jekyll and the Bubble. This is another one where the artwork has like drawn me in. So pro tip, have amazing artwork and you'll have my attention at least. But yeah, I think that one just sounds really interesting. I need to see if I'm going crazy, but I'm like 99% sure there's a musical or a piece of theatre about a Rebecca, and I presume it's the same one, I don't know. But yeah, the artwork's the main kind of draw on that one for me. Gutted I'll be missing it. After that, there's another like New York inspired musical. I love New York, so anything kind of New York I'll probably be obsessed with. This one sounds super fascinating though. I feel like I'm really into like history related shows at the moment. I guess with the rise of like Hamilton, and then there's stuff like Six, which I'm obviously obsessed with. It's really nice to kind of feel like you're learning things from new shows as well. As much as I appreciate a completely new original story, it's nice to feel like you're learning. So this one is called Building Emily Warren, the story of the Brooklyn Bridge. I'm hooked, fascinated, and again their artwork is really interesting as well. So the description for this one is, it's 1870, how can a woman become an engineer? Meet Emily Warren Roebling, saying the name wrong I'm sure, the woman who completed the Brooklyn Bridge, in a tale of strength and women's rights. So obviously if I could see that, I would be all over seeing that. I think that sounds really fascinating. I mean, it's not like I know the history of the Brooklyn Bridge a lot, but the fact that obviously a woman was involved in a time when, I mean, when is time not hard for women, but you know, especially then to be a female engineer, that probably wasn't easy. So I want to know more, and I really hope that these shows that I can't see will hopefully happen in London at some point so I get the chance to see them. Otherwise, I'll be quite sad. The next show on this list that I sadly won't be able to see but I'm intrigued about is called Liz, and it's giving me Six vibes, I'm not gonna lie. So the description is, young, sassy and supposed virgin, cheeky, Queen Liz navigates her way through a Tudor labyrinth of undesirable suitors, pompous counsellors and tedious diplomacy. How will Liz save her nation when the buffoonish King Philip of Spain declares war? Again, I just think that sounds really fascinating. History, even though I'm British, I feel like I don't know that much about this part of history. Could probably do with some educating. Yeah, that one just sounds really interesting, especially to be made into a musical and not a play. I'm here for it. And finally, the last show on my list of shows that I would love to be able to see at the Edinburgh Fringe, but sadly can't, is one called A Romantic's Guide to the Apocalypse. And again, this one, I was like, that artwork looks sick. Let me read on. Honestly, it's such a grab, especially in the Fringe programme where there are literally so many pages, so many shows. If you have strong artwork, then like people are gonna want to then read what your show is about and pay attention. So just saying. So this show's description says, Jack discovers the world will end in 1 week, but also gets his first ever date. Oh. This hilarious musical asks what happens if you fall in love when the world ends. I just think that's a really interesting premise. We love a bit of faux apocalypse. Touch wood, it won't actually happen anytime soon. But yeah, as I say, mainly the artwork for that one. I was hooked once I saw it, so I'm really sad that I won't be able to see it at the Fringe. But again, fingers crossed, most of these that I won't be able to see will come to London at some point, and I will hopefully get to see them.
If some people heard the news, they might scream in terror.
But not us, no.
We don't see it as a terrible error.
No, the end may be a hullabaloo.
But we've decided there's only one thing we can do. We stick together, make the most of it. We stick together, it's fun if you commit. We stick
stick together in our community. We stick together, it's an opportunity.
One day we got a letter and we thought this could be better.
So we collected our thoughts and decided a plan.
And made some snacks for the ride, designated the man. Put up our tents in the trees, chat the cheese, check the view.
There's only one thing we can do. We stick together, make the most of it. We stick together, it's fun if you commit. We stick together in our community. We stick together, it's an opportunity.
So there's a little list of shows that I'm definitely going to be seeing and I'm excited about, and shows that I really wish that I could see because I love the sound of them. I would love to know if any of these shows are already on your list, or if there are some that you're now like, ooh, I'm gonna try and see them. Or if there are other shows that you would recommend to me as an Edinburgh Fringe newbie. I would love to know any advice on shows and the Fringe experience as a whole. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more of me in the future. Obviously there's going to be quite a lot of Edinburgh stuff happening on the channel very soon, so do keep an eye out for all of that. I hope you're all doing really well and I will see you in my next video. Bye!